So let's start off with the 20s. See, your 20s aren't about being perfect. They're about setting up a plan and the rules that your money is going to follow for the next 40 to 50 to 60 years. And so setting up your financial foundation in your 20s can change your life forever. It can change the trajectory of your life, and it can really, really, really make a huge difference. There are a lot of people in their 30s who are going to wish they did some of the stuff that we're going to be talking about here in their 20s. So use this as an eye-opener. Use this as an awakening to know I need to make sure I get some of this stuff done in my 20s so that I can move forward when it comes to building wealth. Now, folks in your 20s, you may not have all the money in your world. You may not have everything that you want currently, but you have the most valuable asset of all, which is time. And the most powerful thing that you can do is change your financial life in your 20s so that when you reach your 30s, 40s, and 50s, you can reap the benefits of what we call compound interest. And compound interest will change your life forever. So the first thing I want you to do in your 20s is I want you to aggressively get cash flow positive. Now, most people don't have a money problem. They have a cash flow problem. And what you don't need right now is you don't need some complex budget put into place. Instead, you need to know what comes in versus what is going out. And what we need to create when we do this is we need to create a gap. The gap is the difference between your income and your expenses. The gap is where wealth is built. The gap is where you can pursue financial freedom. The gap is what is going to get your time back. And so the difference between your income and expenses, if you can take those extra dollars and put them towards wealth building activities, this can absolutely change your life. Because the goal overall is we want to make sure that we have a monthly surplus so that we can take those dollars and start to reap the benefits of compound interest, putting them into assets that will appreciate over time. And this is why we want to make sure we know what is coming in versus what is going out. Now, one of the biggest killers of folks in their 20s is something called lifestyle creep, where you're going to start to make a little bit of money. And maybe you graduated from college, or maybe you graduated from the trades, and you start to make some money. And upfront, you're saying to yourself, wow, I got a little bit of cash on hand. I am going to start to spend this on a new car, or maybe you upgrade to the new house, or maybe you get the brand new designer watch or purse. Well, these are going to be things that once you start to upgrade these and you start to upgrade your lifestyle to your income, this is where people get stuck. This is where they get stuck in the paycheck to paycheck cycle. What you do not want to be doing is upgrading your lifestyle all the way up to the same exact level as your income. So let's say you start your first entry-level job and you're making $50,000 per year. Well, if you're making $50,000 per year and then 4 years later you get a raise and you're going to make $65,000 per year, what you don't want to do is inflate your lifestyle up to that $65,000 per year lifestyle. Instead, you want to live the same exact way and invest the difference, or do what we call the 50-50 rule, meaning you save 50% and you spend 50%. This creates balance within your life, allows you to enjoy life today, but also spend a little bit more tomorrow. Now, folks in your 20s, I want you to realize a couple of different things. If you cannot control your spending on a lower income, you're not going to be able to control it when more money starts to come in. So you have to develop these lifestyles now and make sure that you have the right plan in place. And so I want you to do everything in your power to get cash flow positive. Now, for me, in my 20s, I was very frugal, and that was the way I got myself to cash flow positive, is I would cut back, and then I focused on increasing my income over time, which we will talk about a little bit more in this decade. But I want you to make sure that you are doing the same thing. Do whatever you can to make sure that your income is greater than your expenses, because the difference in that income and expenses means that we can build up an emergency fund, means that we can start to invest our money, means that we can reduce our stress and anxiety around money, because it starts in your 20s. You have to work way less hard than someone in their 30s or 40s who is just getting started if you set up your financial foundation now. Now, the second thing I want folks to do in their 20s is I want you to get rid of toxic debt as soon as you possibly can. First, I want you to avoid toxic debt as much as possible. So any debt that has a high interest rate, and what we classify as a high interest rate is anything above a 6% interest rate, we want you to avoid. And if you already have something with an above 6% interest rate, we want you to pay that off as fast as you possibly can, because high interest debt is a true wealth killer. Anything outside of your mortgage. If you have a mortgage, we can look at refinancing that down the line. But if you are someone who has a car loan with a 9% interest rate, if you have credit card debt with a 25% interest rate, if you have a personal loan with 15% interest rate, all those types of examples are going to be things we want to pay down as fast as we possibly can, because high interest debt is going to rob you of financial freedom. It's going to rob you of your future. You're not going to be able to do the things that you want in life because you took on this debt. debt. Now, I understand you got to get from point A to point B, and so sometimes taking out a car loan is necessary. I understand that sometimes you need to make sure that you get the bills paid, and so you have made some mistakes in the past, and so you had to get the bills paid in order to make sure that you took on that personal loan. I get it. But now we're going to get ourselves out of that situation so that we can enter our 30s with zero debt whatsoever, at least any high interest debt, and get that stuff paid off. There's good debt and there's bad debt. There's nothing wrong with taking on a mortgage. There's nothing wrong with certain pieces of debt. But at the same time, I want you to be realistic about what you're taking on and understand the impact of that money. Now, credit cards and personal loans are the ultimate enemy. Those need to go away as fast as possible, and you should not have any credit card debt whatsoever. Credit card debt is the thief in the night that comes and robs you of your time and energy and money. It is going to take that money away from you, your hard-earned dollars. In fact, think about it this way. You wake up every single day, drive all the way to work, and then come all the way home through traffic just so you can pay the credit card company to make sure that you cover that credit card debt that you have. See, credit card interest is compounding against you. The interest rates are so high that it is compounding against you. So you need to make sure that you avoid it at all cost. Every single dollar of bad debt that you start putting towards that bad debt is a dollar that is being removed from you being able to put it towards your investments or being able to put it towards future you. And so I want you to make sure that you're avoiding bad debt as fast as you possibly can, because the faster you can clear this, the more clean and clear your 20s and 30s are going to be as you start to approach that level. Now, third is for most of you out there who are in your 20s, if you can build your safety net, which is your emergency fund, if you can build this early and start to build it up, it will change your life forever. You will be less stressed around money. You will be less anxious around money, and you will not have to worry about finances as much. Now, if you don't know what an emergency fund is, all it is a set of money that you put aside in a high yield savings account. You can put it in a CD. I prefer the high yield savings account. And we will link up our favorite high yield savings account down below, by the way, because we have a great list that are available for you guys. So we will link up those up down below. But if you are looking to build up your emergency fund, I recommend following our 136 method. Now, we have an entire episode on the 136 method, but the way that it works is that first, you save up 1 month of expenses in a high yield savings account. What do I mean by 1 month of expenses? This means you add up how much money you spend every single month and you save up that exact amount. So if you spend $5,000 per month, then you're going to save up $5,000. If you spend $10,000 per month, then you're going to save up $10,000. But you're going to have 1 month in place before you start to pay off any high interest debt. So high interest debt, like we talked about before, was anything above a 6% interest rate. Then secondly, once you have that high interest debt paid off, now we're going to move to the 3, which is to get to 3 months of expenses. And so once we start to focus our time and energy on getting to 3 months of expenses, which is 2 months more from the 1 month, then we're going to be able to have 3 months on hand. This is going to protect us against a lot of things in life. You know, if your car breaks down, you'll be able to cover it. If you have a medical emergency, most likely you'll be able to cover it. If you fall behind on rent, you'll most likely be able to cover it. If you have something that breaks in your house, you'll most likely be able to cover it. So all of these different things are typically covered with a 3-month emergency fund. But we don't stop at a 3-month emergency fund. You're going to hear a lot of financial gurus out there say to you, oh, all you need is a 3-month emergency fund. I don't believe that at all. Why? Because it doesn't protect you against the greatest risk you have of all, which is job loss. You are one person's decision away from having zero income whatsoever, and that is your boss. And so you want to make sure that you have enough cash on hand that if your boss calls you in on a Friday afternoon and says, hey, we don't need your services here anymore, you have cash on hand to protect you against that. That is the most powerful thing that you can have on hand and why you will not be stressed around money. And so we want you to get to 6 months of expenses. I want you to think about this for a second. When you get to 6 months of expenses, ultimately, and that may sound daunting to you right now in your 20s, you're like, I can only put $100 a month into my emergency fund. How am I ever going to get there? This is a long game. This is the long-term game that we want to continue to build towards. And so we want to make sure that we get to the point in time where we can get there. Now, if you're making a high income and you're in your 20s, start funneling cash into this emergency fund and build it up now. But if you are not making a high income, then we want to just take what we can every month and start to funnel it towards our emergency fund to ultimately get to 6 months of expenses in that emergency fund. And so here's how I want you to think about this. This is the long game. And in your 20s, this is the time that you could build up this emergency fund so that if anything were to ever happen to you in life later on down the line, then you have the money just there. Your car breaks down, the money's just there. You have to go to the ER, the money's just there to cover the deductible. You have an issue with your water heater and it explodes all of a sudden, you have the money just there. You have to call a plumber to fix a toilet. You have the money just there. All of this is really, really important because there is power in having the money just there. And I want you to make sure that you have that in place. So your emergency fund protects you against life. Very important to do early and often. Next is you need to start investing as early as you possibly can. So we have this thing called the Wealth Builders Matrix. We're going to link it up down in the show notes below. But the Wealth Builders Matrix is a tool that allows you to see, well, if I'm age 25 and I started to invest my money right now, what is every single dollar that I invest? What is that worth? How much is it worth? Well, let's say, for example, you're 20 years old. Well, a 20-year-old, every single dollar they invest is going to be worth so much more than someone who is in their 30s. And so the Wealth Builders Matrix actually walks you through and shows you exactly how much each dollar is worth. But what I want you to do is when you look at this, you have the most powerful decade of all, meaning you have the ability to compound wealth way faster than anybody else in these future decades that we're going to talk about. And so because of this, you have the ability right now to invest small amounts of money. And those small amounts of money can turn into very large amounts of money. So I want you to get started investing now. I don't care how small of amount of money it is, it will compound and you will not regret it overall. Guess what? Doing some of the extra stuff that you do that you don't really care about instead of investing your money, it is going to be so much more valuable to make sure that you invest those dollars. And so really, this is the time where you can go and start to get your 401k match. Start looking into an HSA if you have a high deductible health plan. Start looking into your Roth IRA. Start looking at your company's 401k. If you want to retire early, maybe you want to retire in your 30s or 40s or 50s, you can even look at a taxable brokerage account. All of these are tremendous tools. They're going to help you invest long-term. We have entire episodes on each of those, but each one of those is a very, very powerful tool that is going to help you over the course of the long term. Now, number 5, and this is something I think that you really, really need to listen to me on right now, okay? Because this is going to change your life forever if you focus your time and energy on this. When you are in your 20s, you need to build your skill stack. You need to build your human capital, especially in the day and age of AI. You need to have skills that are going to help you market yourself. If you don't build these up in your 20s, your 30s, 40s, and 50s will be so much more difficult. And what I want you to do is understand that your income is the overall biggest lever you can pull when it comes to wealth building. And if you have your skills, nobody can take those skills away from you, especially if they are income producing skills. Skills compound just like money. They compound just like fitness and health. They compound just like anything else in this life. And so starting to develop those skills can be really, really important. So I want you to make sure that you're focusing your time and energy on things that are going to really matter. Networking. Making sure you are meeting new people, people who can help you, people who can go up to bat for you. You're spending your time focused on sales skills because every situation in this life is a sales opportunity. You're focusing your time and energy on things that will help you get promoted at your job, things that will help you in every single day life. Negotiation is another big one, but make a list of things that you want to master. And I want you to do this in your 20s and master one every single year. So maybe 1 year is sales. Maybe 1 year is negotiation. Maybe 1 year is AI. AI is a great opportunity right now, and understanding how that works and understanding how to market this could make you a very, very rich person. And so all of these skills, I want you to map out 10, and I want you to focus on one every single year. If one becomes obsolete and you feel like 5 years down the line, you don't want to focus on that one anymore, then go ahead and remove that one and put another one in its place. Also, understanding that job hopping can also help you make more money. Every single time I switched jobs in the corporate world, I made more money every single time. And my old job typically would make me a much bigger offer than what I was originally anticipating. So understand that if your job isn't paying you enough right now, look to job hop and see if you can get a 15 to 20% increase. Then learn to negotiate your salary. We have an ebook on that that's completely free if you go to mastermoney.co/resources, but we have a step-by-step 6-month system on how to negotiate your salary so that you can make more money even at your current job. And the returns from this step alone are a multi-million-dollar decision. If you're in your 20s right now, this is a multi-million-dollar decision to learn these skills. And you will make millions more throughout your career just by listening to this right now. This is a multi-million-dollar episode. This episode could change your life and be a 7-figure difference to what you do if you actually listen to these tips and the advice that I am giving you right now. And so making sure that you take these steps and think about making more money is going to be the most important thing that you can do. So big takeaways for your 20s. 1, don't try to look rich when you're not yet. If you're rich, fine. You can look rich. You can get yourself whatever you want. But don't try to look rich if you're not. 2 is you want to build the systems, the habits, and the skills that are going to benefit you for the rest of your life. That is your ultimate goal in this decade. 3, if you win in your 20s, your 30s are going to feel easy, because if you set this foundation up, your 30s are going to feel like a breeze. It's going to feel like you're just riding downhill the rest of the way. And number 4, if you ignore this in your 20s, your 30s are going to feel stressful. And a lot of folks in their 30s right now who may have ignored this in their 20s, even though they feel like they made a mistake, they still have tons of hope, but they are saying to themselves, and they would tell you right now, I wish I started in my 20s.